Hello, I am Loretta Lipscomb, and I am here today with Keishawna Gilliam. Welcome.
Thank you.
We are here today to talk about her new business, Your Crown My Canvas LLC. That is so much to be excited about, and we're going to learn more why we should be excited about this great business in just a moment. But first of all, we want to welcome you.
Thank you.
We're thankful that you took the time to come to share your new business with us on today. But first of all, I wanted to ask you, what sparked an interest in you becoming a hairstylist? And also, how long have you been a hairstylist?
That's a good question. So my mom is actually a hairstylist, so many of my skills come from her. So hi, Mom. So when I was a kid, for Christmas, I would always get dolls. And one of the things I like to do with my dolls is style their hair because I saw my mom doing that all the time. So one day I decided I would bring my Cabbage Patch doll into her room, and I sat in bed with her. I was probably about 7 at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, Mom, teach me how to braid. And Mom was like, okay, I'll teach you. So I sat in the bed with her, and she was trying to teach me to make my fingers do what her fingers were doing.
Right.
And I was getting frustrated because I just couldn't get it. And she looked at me and she said, crying is not going to help you. Take it in your room and do what I showed you. So I said, okay. I took my Cabbage Patch doll, I hopped down out of her bed, and I went into my room, I sat on my bed, and I practiced. I tried to remember what it was that she was showing me, and eventually I got it. And honestly, I've been doing it ever since.
Wow.
So it started off with just, it being a hobby, me trying to do what my mom was doing. And I was practicing on my dolls, but as I became a teenager, I started doing cornrows on the boys in the neighborhood. So my friends in the neighborhood, I started doing their hair. And then over the summertime, my mom would allow me to be her shampoo girl at the salon. So I got a little bit more practice with being a hairstylist, not only just doing shampooing, but sometimes she would let me do cornrows.
Wow.
Because in the state of Virginia, there's no license required to be a braider. So I was allowed to do cornrows on some of the men that came into the shop as walk-ins.
So how did they know that you were not a licensed cosmetologist, and were they okay with you doing their hair?
Yes, they knew, and there was a mannequin head in the shop that my mom worked at that I used to practice on, and people would see some of the designs that I did, and they said, oh, who did this? And my mom would be like, my daughter did it.
Wow, okay.
And so I ended up, they were like, can you make my hair look like this? And so I was like, okay, cool,
Right.
And then later on.
Hands-on experience.
Exactly.
Good.
I was thankful that she opened that door for me.
Yes.
So not only her, but the salon owner as well, because she didn't have to allow me to come in and do that, but she did. She saw a talent, and she allowed me to run with a gift that she saw that I had, and I was so grateful for it.
Right.
And then so later on in college, this is one of the ways that I make money, so that I wouldn't have to ask my parents for money, or I didn't have to sign up to be in work study or anything like that. So there was a basketball team there at the school, and then right down the street there was an all-males college. I used to braid all the basketball players' hair, and the women's basketball team at our school, I used to do all of their hair.
Right.
So it just gave me an opportunity to continue to grow the gift.
Right. So God favored you from the very beginning to be able to get people that didn't mind you practicing on their hair.
He did. And normally people are very particular about their hair.
Yes.
So I was thankful that people would give me an opportunity to continue to perfect the craft that God had given me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you enjoy the most about being a hairstylist?
Excuse me.
I mean, I know we all have our, enjoyment of different things. But what makes you, want to do hair even when you don't maybe not feel like doing hair?
I think one of the things that's most rewarding for me is the smile that I see on people when they're done. you know,
a
when
nice smile is an indicator that
that I did something right.
Yes, yes.
I enjoy the moment that I hand them the mirror and they see the transformation that has taken place.
Do you allow them to look in the mirror before you're done?
I do my best not to, but honestly, my youngest client is 2. So sometimes I will allow it. Sometimes I will allow it. But for the most part, no, because I want them to experience the big reveal. That's what I want them to experience.
Yes.
I want them to experience the glow up, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because when you look good, you feel good. And so I'm happy to be a part of that transformation of, you know, not only what's going on the outside, because how you look on the outside can affect how you feel on the inside. And so I'm happy to be a part of that transformation.
Right. So you said a 2-year-old.
Yes.
So how do you work with a 2-year-old to get them to keep still? We know they have a lot of energy.
They do.
And, you know, their attention span to sit there and get these nice braids or twists. So what is your secret to allow them to be able to still, you know, move about a little bit, but get their hair done too?
Well, I think that you have to remember that children have a shorter attention span than adults do, right? But also I used to work with children. I used to work with children at a daycare, so 2 and 3-year-olds. So I'm kind of used to, you know, the attention span thing. So a lot of times, I will be honest, I do bribe them sometimes. I do have like a snack basket in my salon room. And so most of my little ones know when they come over to Miss Keishawna's house to come into the salon room, they speak and they hop up in the chair and they pick a snack. So sometimes parents will bring their tablets with them to kind of give them a little extra something to keep their attention. So they hop up in the chair, they get their tablet, they get their snack, they get their water, and I go to work. And most of the times I don't have any issues. Now sometimes if they get a little antsy, we'll take a little break, give them a chance to get up and stretch their legs, move around a little bit. I sing songs with some of them. Some of them like to sing, so I sing songs with them.
Precious.
Yeah, but I just want to make it an enjoyable moment for them too. Because even they have the biggest smile once I show them, you know, the final product as they look at themselves in the mirror. And it's so rewarding to me because after I show them the mirror, they know the next thing is we're going to take pictures.
Oh, wow.
And they love that.
So do you take pictures of all of your clients' hair?
I do. I take pictures, and it's one of the ways that, you know, I grow the business, because a lot of times people think that you have to do a lot of advertising and things like that. But a lot of times word of mouth will travel a lot faster. So I do post the pictures online for people to see.
Yes, that's one of the questions I wanted to ask you, is how do you promote your business? Because we know that you do more than just braid hair. We know that, and we're going to find out more about that in a minute.
Okay.
But what are some of the ways that you promote your business? You said online.
Yes, so I do have an Instagram page. You can find me on Instagram at Your Crown My Canvas. I also have a TikTok page, Your Crown My Canvas, where you can see all of the gallery of the work that I've done. And coming soon, I have a website that's about to launch. So there'll be more information about that coming up soon. So on this website, you'll be able to book appointments. You will be able to give testimonials. You'll find the gallery of all of our beautiful crowns on the website, and then you'll find some other good things on the website, some products that I will be launching on the website as well.
We're looking forward to talking about that in just a minute. But how important do you think it is to put yourself out there? You know, have you always been comfortable, you know, showing your work or, you know, advertising what it is that you do? Like, say, for instance, someone who never really posted their work. You know, as far as putting it out there on a social media platform. Because I'm sure you've gotten a lot of clientele just by someone else seeing what it is that you do.
Yeah, that's true. Now, initially, you know, when I first started, there wasn't much social media going on.
Okay.
But as, you know, the presence of social media began to grow. So you have your Facebooks, you have your Instagrams, you have your TikToks, you have Twitter, all these kinds of things. And so initially, I just remember the joy that I felt in what I was doing. And I thought that this has to be a good thing. Like, this is a business that will never go away. This is something that, you know, for generations to generations, it's been like a bonding thing. It's been like a therapy thing.
True.
And so with me being able to be a part of that transformation in people, I thought I should share this.
Right.
You know, even if not just for them seeing the work that I can do or the perfecting of the craft over the years, just giving people that opportunity to say, you know what, I need some me time.
Yes.
I need some time to be able to just let my hair down, to just relax. I need a pamper session. I need to get some things off of my chest. And it looks like this is a good atmosphere, so I'm going to give this a go.
Right. Because it's more than just them getting their hair done.
Right.
When they sit in your chair.
Absolutely.
They're having an experience as they sit in your chair.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a little bit more about that as far as the importance of who's over your head?
Yeah.
And, you know, we shouldn't select a hairstylist just because their work looks good.
Right.
Can you share some of the experiences that you've had?
Sure. So, in my salon room, I make a practice of praying over my chair.
Okay.
And the thing is, we all have experienced different things in life, right? And it's something about when people come to my salon room, they open up. And sometimes it's involuntary, it's unintentional, so to speak. So a lot of times people will sit down in my chair and sometimes they may fall asleep. That's a good thing to me. It lets me know that they're comfortable.
Yes.
They feel like they're in a safe atmosphere.
Right.
But also sometimes people will sit down in my chair and they will just begin to tell me their problems. They'll begin to tell me the things that they're dealing with in life. And I'm thankful for this opportunity to be used by God because of my faith and how God has grown me spiritually and how he has matured me over the years to be able to sow back into somebody's life because of some of the things that I have endured in life. So because there have been many times when God had to encourage me or God had to be the lifter of my head, now I can give that to somebody else. Now I can give somebody else a word of encouragement. Now I can give somebody else a little piece of the joy that God has given me. It's all about perception, to be honest. If you can cause somebody to see their situation from a different perspective, then you're already in the door to helping them to overcome.
Right.
And so that's what I try to focus on whenever somebody sits in my chair. It's so much more than me just giving them a new look.
Right.
It's about a transformation taking place on the inside of them.
Yes.
So there have been times that I have prayed over people that sit in my chair. I pray with them, or they could be, sometimes if somebody comes in and I can just tell that they're feeling heavy, I'll pray over them while I'm working on their hair. And they may not even know that I'm praying for them. Because you don't know what a person is going through. You don't know what they need. But when your spirit is sensitive enough, you get a chance to see what it is that you can help them with.
Right.
And so my prayer is just that, God, what can I do to help this person? What can I do to brighten their day? What can I do to help them to remember their smile? What can I do to help their joy return to them?
Right.
I want to uplift people. That's what's really what it's all about. And if you think about a crown, most of the time when you see people that wear a crown, they're not frowning.
Right.
They're smiling, they're waving, and they're confident in who they are. And that's what I want for my clients. I want them to be confident. I want them to see the radiance that is in them when they look into the mirror. That's what I want them to see.
So I can see that you're very intentional about not only making sure that the parts are straight, you know, when you're braiding someone's hair or making sure that you're not braiding their hair too tight, but you're sensitive and ready to sow seeds into someone's life that can change their life forever.
Absolutely.
Because we change our hair all the time.
We do.
And God wants us to inwardly change too. And so I love that you're using your business as a platform to build up the kingdom of God.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
that you're concerned about souls.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You never know what a person carries. You never know what it is that they're carrying with them. And a lot of times people walk around with it's like the weight of the world is on their shoulder, and they're just looking for an outlet. They're just looking for someone to help them, and so it is my goal, it is my desire to create an atmosphere of peace. A lot of people will testify that when they come into my salon room, that it's such a peaceful atmosphere. And that is such a big deal to me, because if you are not at a state of peace, you probably don't want someone touching your hair. Another thing I wanted to share too is I have a couple of, like I said, that some of my youngest clients are 2 or 3 years old. I have some that come to me that have different needs. For example, I have a couple of clients who are on the spectrum of autism. If you know anything about autism, you know that most of those people don't like to be touched. Right. So it takes a level of grace. It takes a level of patience and kindness and warmth to allow those children to open up to you. And I'm thankful to see the progress. Even one of my clients, his grandmother says, it's just amazing to me because he doesn't really let people touch him. He doesn't let people hold him or hug him, and I'm so excited when he comes to sit in my chair, because the same love that I want to give to him, he gives back to me. And it just lets me know that I'm on the right path. Right. And I know that every time he comes, he just opens up a little bit more, and I get an opportunity to see the beauty in who God has created him to be. And I know he's going to be a great person one day.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, that is awesome. I'm so glad that we took the time to allow you to share as far as how important the person is that comes to your shop. And now we're going to talk a little bit about this amazing product. Okay. What inspired you to create hair products? I mean, you didn't just stop at doing hair and making people look nice and having them built up, encouraged and all. You went a step further, and now you're creating hair products.
I am.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, honestly, this is the first time that I'm sharing this publicly. Okay. But at the age of 25, I started losing my hair. And at the time I was on blood pressure medication. Okay. So I don't know if the blood pressure medication is what did it. All I know is it started off as this little tiny spot in the crown of my head. And then it started to expand. So I started going to a dermatologist. I started doing different styles, trying to hide and mask this little spot that was on the top of my head, and it just continued to progress. One year my dad took me I decided that I wanted to go to DC. There was an Indian doctor in DC who was doing this procedure called PRP. For those of you who are familiar with it, it's called platelet-rich plasma. And what they do is they draw your blood, and then they put it in this machine that makes it spin around very quickly, and it separates your red blood cells, your plasma, and your platelets. And what they do is they inject platelets and plasma into your scalp, and what it does is it forces your hair to grow back. So I wanted to see if I would be a good candidate for this process. So my dad went with me. My dad took me to DC to see this doctor. And then when the consultation happens, they do a scalp analysis, and they want to see if you'll be a good candidate for this procedure. Unfortunately, I was not a good candidate for that procedure, because they said they didn't know if the hair loss was still progressive or if it was done. So I just remember how devastated I felt because I was hoping that this was going to be my answer.
Right.
You know, and I think I cried the whole trip back from DC to Richmond because I was just I felt so defeated about it. You know what I mean? And I just didn't, I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? So as time went on, I continued to go to the dermatologist, and I just realized that the things that they were giving me, they just simply were not working for me.
Okay, so let me ask you, before you went to DC, pertaining to what you just shared, what are some of the other things that you did before you got to this point?
Oh, I started using all kinds of products.
Okay.
So I started using products that had sulfur in them because I was thinking maybe it's drying up and breaking off. So I started using sulfur products. I started using products that had tea tree oil in them because I was like, well, I don't know, maybe there's a fungus or something that's causing this kind of hair loss.
Okay.
So I started using all different kinds of products. Many of you have probably heard about like Dr. Miracles and things like that. So
yes.
I've tried using that, and even though I would see some progress, it wasn't as progressive as I would have wanted it to be.
Right.
It would be like I see a little bit of growth and then it will become stagnant again.
Okay.
So I started using other products. I started doing something that called micro blading. And it's just a little tool that has these teeny tiny little needles on it, and it's said to be able to help to bring circulation into that area. So I started using that along with deep conditioning and protein treatments and things like that, and it just seemed like nothing was really working for me.
Wow. So you've been on this path for a while.
Yeah.
Trying a lot of different things. Okay, so where did that lead you to? Where did that path lead you to? I mean, because I know, just like you said, the journey of hair loss is different for everyone.
Right.
And how devastating it is. And so as you were trying these different products, you know, that didn't work, what made you continue to go and believe that, you know, it's got to be something that's going to help me?
I just felt like there has to be an answer. You know,
Right.
a lot of times in our society, like we hear about different sicknesses or diseases, and sometimes people will say, "Oh, well, that's incurable." But I just believe that all things are possible with God.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know, one day I was browsing on YouTube, and I saw this challenge that these women were doing. In order to try to regrow their hair. And there were so many different challenges out there. And then I realized that some of the challenges that started working for people were all natural ingredients. And these were ingredients that you can find in your pantry. These are things that you probably have at home. And so I decided to try this challenge, and what I would do is grab different all natural items from each thing that I had been witnessing in these challenges and put them together and see if it would work for me. And so I ended up coming up with this solution that has all natural ingredients. It's something that you can use every day. There are items that you'll probably find in your pantry at home. And I decided that I would use this formula for 2 weeks to see if I would see any progress. And I began to see hair sprouting on the top of my head again in areas where doctors said it would not grow back.
Right.
So, and I began to get excited because everywhere I looked around, I saw that there was a need for this. There were so many other women like me who were dealing with hair loss.
Men and women.
Men and women.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of times with women, you know, it's our edges. Like, we're always trying to protect our edges, right?
Yes.
But there's also balding that can go on in the crown area. You know, our crown area is the part of our head where we experience the most heat. So we have to give that part a little bit more TLC a lot of the time. So sometimes we'll find more breakage and things in that area.
Okay.
And so when I came up with this product, I decided, you know, I'm not just going to use it in one particular area. I'm going to apply this to my entire scalp and see the results. And I've even had some people to test the product out for me and record their results and get back with me. And Loretta is one of those people.
Yes.
Do you want to speak to that?
Yes. So my area is just like she said, the edges. And so I documented day one, and every day I would use the product, massage it in really good. And I did this for, in the middle of the product, in the middle of the testing, I should say. I took another picture, and I kept on going back and forth, making sure that, you know, that my hopes weren't overtaking what was really their reality. So I said, I'm gonna wait to look even more to compare the pictures. And so I did it for an entire month. And after 30 days, I compared my pictures. Well, first I looked in the mirror intently, seeing whether I was actually, you know, seeing what was true. And so,
like, I'm skeptical.
I'm gonna tell her the truth now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, the comparing of the pictures from the beginning to the middle to the end, I did see the thin areas filling in, and I'm still using the products because I'm believing that they're helping me to see that those areas completely feel the way they're supposed to be.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
So I've had a couple of other people to try it too, and it's the more that I see it, the need for it, the more I'm motivated to keep going and to produce more products that can help with hair loss. So the signature product of your Crown My Canvas LLC is called the Ester Elixir. And the Ester Elixir is a daily hair growth mist that you can spray on your problem areas or on your scalp and your hair. And the goal is to just massage it in gently for 3 minutes and then style your hair as you normally would. And the reason why you're massaging it is that you're increasing blood flow to that area. So we're just giving our scalp a little more nutrition. We're giving it a little more TLC so that it can grow and so that it can thrive, right? But we also know that there are things that internally that we have to do too. So I do encourage people to drink more water. I do encourage people to, you want to moisturize your scalp too, because as people of color, sometimes our hair can be naturally dry. So we have to kind of help it out in that area. So the daily hair growth mist will also help with that. I do have another product coming out soon, which will be a hair oil. It will be a herbal infused hair oil. It will also be all natural. So there won't be anything in there where you can have like a chemical outbreak or anything like that. The goal is to pride my products on being all natural and something that's safe enough for you to use from week to week.
Right. So I want to know, well, not only myself, but I want the viewers to also know a little bit more about this name, Ester Elixir. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so Esther is one of my favorite characters in the Bible because God used her in such a mighty way. And it's because of the position that she had that changed the lives of all of the Jewish people. You know, the Jewish people at the time were up for annihilation. There was someone who wanted to see that entire race wiped out. And God used Esther at a specific moment, at a specific time, to deliver those people. And so I got to thinking about my testimony and the things that I have been dealing with hair loss. And I began to think about it, and I said to myself, you know, I probably would not have tried to come up with a product like this had I not been dealing with hair loss myself. So even in, you know, and most of my clients have no idea that I've been suffering with alopecia for so many years. But I thank God for restoring my hope and seeing that things are possible. And if it's possible for me, then obviously it's possible for them too.
Others,
And so I just want to read you the definition of elixir. An elixir is a substance, usually a liquid, with the power to cure, improve, or preserve something. And so when I was thinking of a name for this product, the word elixir came to me, and I decided to look it up. And I said, man, that is so fitting. That is so fitting. While while this is not a drug, the goal is to improve a situation.
Oh,
the goal
wow.
is to preserve something,
Yes.
to preserve our hair follicles, you
Yes.
know? And so I'm just thankful for this opportunity to be able to sow seeds of hope into someone else's life as I am awaiting my big reveal.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So it's like, you know, the saying goes that you take, you know, about the lemons and the lemonade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You take lemons and you make lemon. When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade.
Yes.
That's true.
So I'm thankful to hear how, you know, what you've gone through and you know, what you're awaiting to receive in its fullness, how that has motivated you to make these amazing products that's not only benefiting yourself,
right,
and it's not about the money,
right,
although we're thankful for the money flow,
right,
the money flow out of this, but also about the lives, the self-esteem, the hope, the more confidence, and all of that that's going to come forth.
Right.
And it's no telling what these people will be able to, your clients, those that purchase the products, it's no telling what,
right,
you know, just by their hair becoming healthier and all, what that would motivate them to do, you know, in their life.
Right. And you know, honestly, as I look back over my life and my childhood, I was not always a confident girl. I wasn't. And it took time for God to open my eyes to who He created me to be. You know, a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people. Like, even as women, I know sometimes we look at magazines and we're like, oh, I wish I had her body, or I wish I looked like her, or I wish my cheekbones were like that, or I wish my shape was like that. You know what I mean? But sometimes we just need to allow God to reveal who we are to Him and how precious we are to Him. And once we allow Him to reveal how He sees us, then who are we to disagree with who He says that we are?
Yes.
And it is a process. It is a continual process. It is a gradual process. It's a journey that we all have to walk out in being comfortable in who God has created us to be. So this has been a journey for me as well. And as I'm continuing on my journey and allowing God to continue to pull back the layers of all that He's placed on the inside of me, I'm encouraging other people to see there's more to you than what you actually see when you look in the mirror. Wow. There's so much more there. There's so much more that He's deposited into you. There's so much more that is yet to be revealed in your life. And that's one of the things that I love so much about this business that God has given me. There's a mission statement that says, and a vision that says, every person is a blank canvas waiting to be revealed as the masterpiece God created them to be, and it all starts with the crown.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. One more question before we leave for today is, where do you see, have God already shown you where your Crown My Canvas LLC will be like in 5 years or 10 years from now? Where do you see it going?
Well, this is a great question, but it reminds me that I have to dig deep. And when I say dig deep, I mean keep my eyes focused on what He said.
Yes.
The only thing that keeps me going with this business is knowing that I have a word on it. I have a word that was given to me about how this product was going to be successful, how it was going to help many people. And it is my desire that these products will be in your local stores, your local beauty supply stores and grocery stores. I want this product to be available worldwide to help people.
Yes.
I want it to help people to restore their confidence and their hope. And I want people to know that this is just the beginning. You know, when we see something that looks out of place or something that looks like it shouldn't be this way, I'm learning more and more in my journey with God that God will turn your pain into purpose. And so something that brought you shame in the past, He will get the glory out of it.
Yes.
He will use the things that were meant for your bad and turn them around for your good.
Yes.
And I think that the Esther Elixir and your Crown My Canvas is just the beginning of him revealing that to people, that he can turn your pain into purpose. He can turn your disappointments into glory.
Yes.
You know, and that is my earnest desire for this business, to restore hope in people, to let them know that this is not how your story ends. This is not the end for you. He says, I know the thoughts that I think towards you, to give you peace, to give you hope and a future, to give you an expected end. So one thing that I love about God is no matter how bad things look, he always wants to give you good news.
Yes.
He always wants to give you good news. So no matter what your situation looks like, if maybe it's not hair loss that you're dealing with, maybe you just need some confidence in changing your look. You know, sometimes we need a little makeover or something like that, and that's okay. And so I'm just thankful to be a part of that process to restore hope. I believe that I'm sent to plant seeds of hope and encouragement, and to help people find their smile again.
I love that. I love that. I love everything you said about that. Because God is giving you the bigger picture,
right?
And that's what you're walking towards. That's what all of the time that you have spent researching out the products and all of the things that you did to bring forth these amazing products. And because you've done the work now, I mean, God is blessing it.
Yeah. And
so we look forward to hearing more and more about your Crown My Canvas LLC. We're looking forward to hear more testimonies and how even the business side of it, as far as the financial portion of it. We're believing great and big things for this business. So we thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you for continuing to go forward in what God gave you, that you didn't drop it, that you kept on, and you're continuing to move forward in it.
Yeah.
We're proud of you.
Thank you.
We continue to lift up your business. Thank God that he has favored you and given you the grace for every season of this business.
Thank you. And I want to thank you guys for being here with me today, as I'm doing something I've never done before. And it just pushes me to rely on God that the more. And so I just want to encourage you that whatever your story is, whatever it is that he's waiting to reveal in you, to just trust him. Yeah. Trust him and allow him to just acknowledge him and allow him to direct your path. You know, I know this is just the beginning of your Crown My Canvas LLC, and I know there'll be many other products that God will release to me. But again, just going back to the vision and the mission statement, every person is a blank canvas waiting to be revealed as the masterpiece that God created them to be, and it all starts with the crown. And you can find that in Ephesians 2. Verse 10. So I want you to read over that scripture and allow it to become part of your heart. You are God's masterpiece, and this is just the beginning for you. So thank you. God bless you. And you can look to see the website launch soon. It will be www.yourcrownmycanvas.com. It's not up yet, but it will be launched soon. By the time you're seeing this video, it will probably be launched. And so I'm just looking forward to connecting with you. If you're interested in making an appointment or hearing more about the products, please do visit me on social media platforms at Your Crown My Canvas on Instagram and TikTok, and also on the website. May God bless you, may God increase you, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Be blessed.